Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into Vidiot Entertainment Studios for this episode of Vidiot Movie Reviews. My name is Elijah, aka Hajil Saunak, aka Nerdlust Daddy, and today we continue our review series on every North American theatrically released live-action video game movie adaptation. And today's episode ends up being a continuation of last week's as we review... Pids, you dropped the soundbite too late.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Pids. But yes, we review Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the sequel to 1995's Mortal Kombat. And oh boy, is this one a treat. Let's just jump right in because we've got a lot to cover. Now, Annihilation was released in theaters on November 21st, 1997, and it looks like we may have another holiday hit expectation here. Either way, at the time, Mortal Kombat 2, and Mortal Kombat 3, along with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, and Mortal Kombat Trilogy had been released. We can ignore Mythologies, as that is an action-adventure spin-off. We can also ignore Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2, since the movie is directly based off of Mortal Kombat 3. So that leaves us with Mortal Kombat 3 and its two upgrades, Ultimate and Trilogy, to use for comparison. Now for the plot here, the movie starts us off at the end of the first film with portals beginning to open from Outworld into Earthrealm, and Shao Kahn's extermination squads and generals start coming through to invade. We quickly learn that Kahn is manipulating a loophole that is available to him due to the resurrection of Queen Sindel, and it allows him to open up the portals in order to invade Earthrealm and merge it with Outworld, even though Earthrealm had won the previous tournament. The warriors of Earthrealm must join forces in order to figure out how to close the portals and stop Shao Kahn for good. This is pretty much exactly like the plot of the game Mortal Kombat 3, although with a few liberties that we'll discuss later on in regards to some of the characters. Now, due to how close the plots match, I can certainly give this a hoo-woo. Pids, what did you think of the plot?
Hoo-woo!
Now, setting and world representation seem fairly accurate to the games. We see the merger of the realms like in the games, and a corrupted version of Earthrealm, as well as a macabre representation of Outworld. We also get plenty of accuracy in regards to character physical appearances and special move representation that we'll get into in the characters section. Be aware though that you will be dealing with a 90s movieing. If you think our green screen effects are bad, wait until you get a load of these. And that 90s CGI is something out of a nightmare. But in spite of those two faults, they still succeed in good setting and world representation, so I can give this a solid hoo-woo. Pids, how do you feel about it?
Woo!
Character representation. Let's start off with some of the worst here. Shinnok. This character was not even fully introduced into the games until Mortal Kombat 4. He shouldn't even be here, and take a look at the physical representation, it's not even fucking close. Don't even get me started on his backstory, which we're going to touch on when we talk about another character later on. But it's not even correct. This character is a straight chitfutter. Pids?
Chitfutter.
Reptile. Now, the Reptile isn't really in the film. What we get are three no-name fellow members of his race instead. Okay, sure thing. Well, physical representation is good. We get one special move in the form of invisibility, and that's about it. Since this isn't even the Reptile, I've got to give this a chitfutter. Pids, how do you feel about this?
Chitfutter.
Baraka. In the games, he's a member of Shao Kahn's forces and a race of people called the Tarkatans. Here in the film, we don't get to see the Baraka. Instead, what we see is multiple members of his race. But their attack on Liu Kang implies they are part of Shao Kahn's forces. We have an accurate physical representation here, but no special move representation. And speaking of the look at this here. They seem accurate, but the blatant prosthetics are laughable. Again, since we don't get the Baraka, I've got to give this a chitfutter. Pids, thoughts on Baraka?
Chitfutter.
Smoke. The games have him positioned as one of the Lin Kuei ninja clan's cyborgs who initially resisted the thought of conversion and fled to avoid it, but was eventually caught and had the procedure performed on him. We get no backstory in the film, but we have a fantastic physical representation. The main problem I have is this chest missile special move. This was one of Sector's special moves in the games, not Smoke's. Still, the look is very impressive, so he gets a hoo-woo from me. Pids, what are you smoking?
A woo!
Cyrax, one of the other Lin Kuei clan cyborg ninjas. Here again we get no backstory, but the physical representation is
excellent.
Well, you heard it. And we get to see his grenade special move, although it's slightly changed to more of a spiked mine or spiked grenade design. Here again, though, we get another special move that isn't accurate. I think this is supposed to be an alteration of his green net special move, but this is more like some kind of flesh-eating acid balls. But this representation is so close, he gets a hoo-woo from me. Pids, your thoughts?
A woo!
Scorpion. At one point in the games, he ends up working for Shao Kahn, and that's what we get here as he kidnaps Katana for him. We have a fantastic physical representation, and we even get two special moves. We get his spear, although they alter it again, so it's now two living, bone dragon-like spears. We do also get to see his teleport. All in all, I certainly can give him a hoo-woo. Pids?
A woo!
Sub-Zero. Now, Mortal Kombat 3 sets us up with a new Sub-Zero who is the brother of the original. That's exactly his backstory in the film too. The look is spot on, and we get two special moves. We get his Ice Freeze, and we get his Ice Clone. The representation here is spot on, so I can easily give him an ecstatic hoo-woo. Pids, were you warm to him as well?
A woo!
Mileena. In the game, she's a clone of Katana created due to Shao Kahn's increasing distrust in Katana's loyalty. We don't get any backstory here, but her attack on Sonya implies she is aligned with Kahn. Her look isn't the same, but I find it quite acceptable, and she even has the use of her size. Unfortunately, we get no special move representation though, but I enjoyed her enough to give her a pass. Pids, what did you think about her?
A woo!
Nightwolf. Now, game side, Nightwolf is portrayed as a Native American shaman. He communicates with Raiden through visions and guards his sacred tribal land that is protected from the influence of Outworld's merger with Earthrealm. He works alongside the Earthrealm warriors to fight against the invasion. Here in the film, there isn't much backstory, but what we do see may imply as much since Raiden sent Liu Kang to seek him out. What he is mainly used for in the film is a method of introducing animalities by teaching Liu Kang how to tap into his. We get a very accurate physical representation, we see his wolf animality, and we even see his axe throw special move that's used to put Liu Kang into a dreamlike state in order for him to find his animality. Nightwolf gets an ecstatic hoo-woo from me. Pids, your thoughts?
A woo!
Rain. Now, Raiden was originally a red herring gag character created as a joke by Ed Boon in the games. He's a prince, he's purple, his name is Rain. Get it? Now, eventually, he gets a backstory where he's the prince of Edenia who betrays his homeland so he can avoid the death at the hands of Khan's extermination squads. In the film, we got no backstory, but he clearly works as one of Khan's generals. We unfortunately don't get much screen time with him, but his look is exceptionally accurate, though disappointingly we don't get to see any of his special moves. Still, he looks fantastic, and I can give him a pass. Pids, thoughts on Rain?
A woo!
Jade. In the games, she's one of Shao Kahn's personal assassins and a lifelong friend and bodyguard of Katana. We don't get any backstory here, but she is working for Khan. The look is fairly accurate even without the mask. We unfortunately don't see any of her special moves though. I did enjoy her enough though to give her a pass. Pids, did this character leave you feeling jaded or not?
A woo!
Motaro. Now the game series portrays him as one of Shao Kahn's generals and the leader of his extermination squads. Here in the film, he is one of his generals, so that fits. Physical representation is quite accurate and fairly impressive. We don't really get any special moves though, unless you count this tail swipe here, but I found him to be fairly impressive, especially that they were even able to pull him off in the film. He gets a hoo-woo from me. Pids, what about you?
A woo!
Ermac. Now on the video game side, he's a being created from the concentration and constitution of the souls of deceased warriors, and he works for Khan. We don't get the backstory in the film, but he is one of Khan's generals. The physical portrayal is good, Unfortunately, we don't get to see any of his special moves. In fact, yet again, they seem to give him the special move from a different character. This clone move, this is one of Noob Saibot's moves. I do still really like how close he looks though, so I'm gonna give him a pass. Pids?
Woo!
Shiva. Now, she's portrayed in the games as a member of the Shokan race, like Goro, and a servant of Khan's. In the film, this aligns as she is one of his generals, and we have a great physical portrayal, though we don't get to see any of her special moves. But much like with some of the other characters, I was highly impressed with the level of accuracy, and that they were even able to pull this character off. She gets a hoo-woo from me. Pids, thoughts on Shiva?
Woo!
Johnny Cage. At this time in the series, Johnny Cage is dead, having been killed by Khan's extermination squads. We get something similar in that Khan himself kills Johnny at the beginning of the film. We have an acceptable physical representation complete with the iconic glasses, and we get to see his special move, the Shadow Kick. In spite of the short screen time, I'm going to go ahead and give Johnny a pass here. Pids?
Woo!
Jax. Now, Mortal Kombat 3 sets up Jax again as one of the warriors of Earthrealm, and in preparation for fighting against Shao Kahn's forces, he gets bionic arm implants. Here in the film, it's basically the same. He's a chosen warrior, and he also gets bionic implants on his arms. We've got a very good physical representation, and we even get to see his special move, the Ground Pound. I think this is so accurate, I can give this character a hoo-woo for sure. Pids, how did Jax work for you?
Woo!
Sonya. Now, MK3 makes her, once again, one of the chosen warriors fighting on the side of Earthrealm alongside Jax. And here in the film, it's the same. Physical representation flounders again, though, in regards to her outfit. But we do get to see one of her fatalities, the Kiss of Death. And one of her special moves again, the leg grab. I think this time Sonya can get a pass from me. Pids, how about you?
Woo!
Sindel, Queen of Edenia and mother to Kitana, who was forced to marry Khan and committed suicide to escape his hold upon her. She then is resurrected by Khan in order to take advantage of a loophole that would allow him to partially merge the realms and invade Earthrealm. The film uses this same plot, and we do have a fairly accurate physical representation here, though with that big hair Elvira energy toned down. We get to see her scream in action as well, and I think they did a fairly good job with her, so this is a hoo-woo for me. Pids, did she make you scream?
Woo!
Kitana, Princess of Edenia, daughter of Sindel, and unwilling stepdaughter to Khan. She fights on the side of Earthrealm while trying to free her mother from Khan's control in order to have her back and close the Outworld portals. In the film, we have a very similar plot. Her physical representation differs, but it is very impressive in its representation, and while we don't get to see any of her special moves, we do get to see her fan blades in action, so I can definitely give her a pass. Pids?
Woo!
Liu Kang, champion of the previous two tournaments and defender of Earthrealm, he joins forces with the rest of the warriors in an attempt to stop Khan once and for all and close the portals between the worlds. The film gives us a similar plot. Physical representation, though, isn't even close to MK3. We get no special moves of his, and just look at his animality. It's awful. Forget the terrible 90s CGI. It's that it looks nothing like in the game, where that dragon was a Chinese-style one. This unfortunately can't even be carried by the acting, and I've got to give him a chit futter in this one. Pids, how did you think about Liu?
Chit butter.
Shao Kahn, Emperor of Outworld, who resurrects Sindel in order to take advantage of a loophole, allowing him to open the portals between the worlds. Now, we get that same thing here in the film, and we get a fantastic physical representation here. Look at this, it's absolutely perfect. We also get to see 3 of his special moves. His Shadow Charge, his Fireball, and in a non-combat manner, his Sledgehammer. We also get an animality from him, even though he never had one in the games. Frankly, minus the animality, this representation is spot on and he gets an ecstatic hoo-woo from me. Pids, what do you think about Shao Kahn?
Woo!
Raiden. Now, Raiden's the god of thunder and the vigilant protector of Earthrealm, as well as mentor to the warriors from Earthrealm. In MK3, due to the Elder Gods refusing to help, he gives up his godhood to become mortal in order to fight alongside the Earthrealm warriors. plot in the film is much the same. The main problem I have with his backstory in the film is that for some reason, they make him the brother of Shao Kahn and son of Shinnok. This is not at all accurate. Physical appearance remains not quite accurate, but acceptable, and we see some of his special moves, including the torpedo, complete with Scream, and lightning bolts. In spite of the fumble with his backstory, I can give him a pass. Pids, did lightning strike for you?
Woo!
Final verdict here. Now, while the plot is spot on, the setting and world representation is accurate, and the character representation is more or less accurate throughout the film, it does stumble a bit. The main problem is they try to use too many characters from the games, which clearly overwhelm the film crew. We also have to deal with some awful green screen effects and terrible 90s CGI. Not to mention some of the acting leaves a bit of wanting from one. Still, this movie's above average at best, and I think I can give it a passing hawoo. Pids, what did you think about Annihilation?
Woo! It's okay.
Yeah, it's okays. I can give this one a 6s out of 10s. It's in no way a must-watch, but can be an entertaining popcorn flick. If you already watched the original, give this one a shot if you have some free time and nothing better to do. Just bear in mind you'll have to deal with the negatives I mentioned earlier. I want to thank you all once again for tuning into Vidiot Entertainment Studios for this episode of Vidiot Movie Reviews. Again, my name is Elijah, aka Hajil Saunet, aka Nerdlust Daddy, and as always, reminding you to not be chit-futters to each other. Body autonomy for everyone, and peace, love, and happiness to all. Pids, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.